We are live.
Hi.
Hi, Merf.
Hi, Chrystal.
How are you this lovely Sunday evening?
I had a good weekend and I just wish that the weekend was longer. Like
Heard that.
I'm all about Bernie's goal of having a 3-day weekend, a 4-day work week. We need that.
Wouldn't that be great?
Oh,
Yeah,
I feel like there's a day that's eaten up by, the errands and the cleaning the house so it's only a day.
it really is. Yes, I'm
Yeah.
with you. Yeah, they were talking about doing that here for like the school district and stuff, but then the teachers union decided not to. I was like, what are you guys thinking?
Yeah. Kids would
Seems,
love it for sure.
oh man, it'd probably be so much better for them too. They probably learn so much more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're actually getting like respite and you're able
Yeah,
to recharge. Your brain's going to work differently.
yeah, and they show that kids really need a lot more rest than we used to think that they needed, and yeah, we
Right.
need to make sure that we're. I know here they are letting the kids start later so they can get more rest in the mornings. But yeah,
Yeah.
4 days would be wonderful.
Sure would.
I so welcome to everybody. Anybody who's watching the recording or here live with us. This is your opportunity to send us questions, and we said you can ask us anything. Dot 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 within reason.
That's right.
But we are Big Sexy Chat. We have a podcast called Big Sexy Chat. And our website is bigsexychat.com. And if you go to our website, it will also ask you for your email address if you'd like to get notifications, basically email newsletters when we have a new live podcast, or you can actually subscribe, I guess, using your own player that you use. And yeah, welcome. And Merf is my co-host, and we've been doing this for a little over 2.5 years now. And we just want to hear from our audience and hear what y'all are up to and what do you want us to talk about? What else, Merf?
Just that we're a sex positive fat liberation podcast. So we talk all things sexy stuff and we talk all things fat liberation and we're all about increasing individuals' knowledge on both of those topics, and we love feedback from our audience. We have really done some deep dives into some interesting sexual topics and interesting fat liberation topics. So if you go back through our archive of different episodes, we have 2 seasons so far, and there's lots of information about just unique and different things and how they impact fat people's lives.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So we talked a little bit about hysterectomies on our podcast, and I know you were kind of considering trying to get one. How's that going? Any better?
No, it has not been going well. Basically was told that insurance would use it as kind of a last resort sort of thing. And that it would have to come from my GYN, doing an ultrasound, then making a request to a surgeon, and then the surgeon would have to make the determination. So my OB can't even ask for it. So, because I'm too young, I could still change my mind and want to have kids, and yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
And I can't, I'm sitting there thinking of well, and depending on what happens in the election, I may not even have the ability to do
Right?
that in the future, which is
No kidding.
terrifying.
What are we, 3 weeks away from the election?
Yeah, it's coming.
We just did our
24
ballots tonight.
days,
We're gonna put them in the mail.
Yeah.
So I'm ready for it to be over. Just please,
Yeah.
please let it go our way.
I hope so. It's just it's that terrifying anticipation of just ugh.
I'm trying to decide, should I take the next day off?
Right.
But if it's great news, I love talking about this stuff with my clients and it's really exciting. I'll be around people. Or if it's shitty, I don't know what I'm gonna do, honestly.
Right.
I can't go to work.
I don't even want to think about that aspect of it at all.
It'd be lovely if we could have Iran and China and Putin helping us out too.
Yeah.
We have to have less integrity and start playing dirty.
Oh, absolutely. Right. It's the only way you get shit done, evidently.
Apparently. But let's go back again to your hysterectomy. Why were you considering that? Because I don't think everybody knows that probably that is watching or listening that you have PCOS, right? And you have endometriosis.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically, I get cysts on my ovaries, and I have fibroids in my uterus, and so it's pretty painful. And I have always had really like difficult time with my menstruation, and it's just always been difficult. And so um, I've asked a bunch of times to have this process because I mean, they diagnosed me with endometriosis like 20 something years ago. So, I mean, I clearly have a history of these things, but I'm often told to lose weight as the cure all
Well,
for
yeah, duh.
those disorders. So, asking for a hysterectomy is seen as like that's a last resort sort of. You don't do that. Like you may change your mind, or you don't know what could happen. It's like I plenty of people. I mean, you've had a hysterectomy, you know.
I was very nervous when I was scheduled for my hysterectomy because I was so worried. It was so urgent. It had happened so fast. I had to jump through a bunch of hoops. I was so worried about getting up to that point where you're like prepping and they go, "Oh, wait, you weigh too much." Because that's when the anesthesiologist came in and I'm like ready for her. And she's like, "No, I keep fat people alive. That's what I do all day long. I do surgeries on fat people." I'm like, I was waiting for a lecture, because
Yeah.
but I saw a story today. This woman needed some teeth removed, and her dentist said, "There's no way I can do this for you. You have to lose 100 pounds first
What?
for dental work." Like,
For dental work?
and guess what? They said, "Yeah, when you come back, lose 100, after you lose 100 pounds, come back, we'll do it." And then in the article, she said, "Oh, and by the way, she hasn't been being very good, air quotes. She's already gained back 20 pounds. Shocking."
Oh my gosh. Wow.
I
It's
know.
just appalling. Like when we had Dr. Robert on and talked to him, and it's like you hear that, there's bias, but it's not trained. And so
Right.
it's like, but it's so ingrained in everything that we do that how do you not like you're facing a whole field that you are required to participate. Like you have to basically have healthcare. Like I mean, I get that some people really push it off as long as possible, but most of the time you have to be able to do that. And they're trained to not like you, not think that what you have is legitimate. Like you're forced into some really scary decisions,
I
or they're
had to
taken off the table.
I had to take that story and send it to Reagan Chastain. I'm like, look
Yeah.
at this bullshit.
Yeah.
Like a
We need to get
dentist
Reagan back
knows.
on.
Yeah, we do. She said she's ready, but like a dentist knows anything about nutrition or a person's history with food or how they eat, you can be fat and be very freaking healthy. We all know that.
Yeah.
And
Are they? Did they say like was it like dental surgery? Like the person would have to be out, and that's why they wouldn't do it.
I believe so because I believe they needed like a bunch of teeth pulled.
Okay.
Such bullshit. And also, we have 100 years or more worth of data that shows that people don't, unless you're restricting heavily, you can't keep the weight off.
Right.
You can't. Like we know that 5% of people can. So
Right.
it's pretty shitty odds.
It's not going to be successful. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're putting yourself through torture basically for something that is ultimately not going to work, and
Right.
then your outcome is worse than it was, in the beginning if you had just had the opportunity to have whatever it was taken care of.
Do you think people like I know you and I put this together, but do other people put it together that like, oh gosh, I've been on 20 diets in the last 20 years or 30 years. Maybe that's why my metabolism sucks. That maybe that's why I rebound all the time because I'm up and down because I'm restricting and going off, restricting and going off. That's bad for it's bad for your organs. Like, does everybody, is that common knowledge?
No, I really don't think so. I think that side of, the research and that side of just the market of selling wellness is not talked about. Nobody talks about the fact that, you're putting more damage to your body by doing those crash diets or wild diets or whatever. I mean, I know we're going to have a whole episode kind of talking about pop culture and stuff, but I mean, you can just see like with those Ozempic craze and like people talking about the wild diets, like Lizzo just changed her diet. She's lost a bunch of weight and she's now promoting that kind of shit. And it's just like, okay, see you in 6 years and let's have that conversation again.
Yeah, right. I know. That sounds terrible, but just we know that's what the facts are.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not
Well,
wishing her fat. I'm just wishing that she would understand how bad dieting is for her. But
right.
it's her body, her life, whatever. But just we've seen it 1,000 times, and
Yeah. It's that, oh, I found the magic cure. This is wonderful. Everything's, and it's
supplements.
Like, no. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say if you're here right now and you feel like telling us where you're from or where you're at, that would be lovely. We'd love to see some comments in there. And also, if you have any questions, of course. And if you're watching this later, you can still add your questions to this. We'll get notifications so we can come back to it. And then also, we have an email, bigsexychatpod@gmail.com, or you can just go to our website, bigsexychat.com, and it'll ask you if you'd like to include, put your email address in there to get in what do you call it, updated. And then also there's a lot of information there and ways that you can email us and reach out to us. So feel free to send us your questions even after this is over, because we're gonna go offline in about after about 15 more minutes. So, but yeah, and I see there are some people here. I'd love to know where you're at, if you don't mind.
Let us know.
Yeah.
I love when we get our pod statistics and they show us like the world map, and it's like, you were listened to in Austria and New Zealand, and I'm just like, oh, I love this.
And something like 2,200 different cities.
Yeah, so cool.
Some of them I've never even heard of.
That's awesome.
Even people in Pakistan are listening to us, and India, Australia, New Zealand, all over Europe.
Like, I would love to do a deep dive with those people. Like, what made you choose Big Sexy Chat? Like, what was the thing that, your life is so different from ours, but maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe, it's like, I finally found someone that really, it resonates with me.
I mean, we talk about this a lot, but fat community is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I used to say this a lot on my Curvy Girl Fat Liberation page, which is, if y'all want to connect with each other, if you're all in, let's say, Lawrence, Kansas, I know that's where Carissa from Fat Girl Flow lives. Y'all get it together. Say, hey, here's where I'm from. You can PM me, and create your own groups, your own events. We have Fat Brunch here. Sometimes we do other things together.
Fat Brunch, because I don't think a lot of people realize that.
Oh, sure. So I'm local here in San Jose, California. We have a group called Fat Brunch. Some local women started it back when I had my boutique, Curvy Girl, and we used it. They created it as a way to keep in touch with each other. And then we would have fat yoga at my office, or we'd have an event at my office at my store. And so we would keep inviting each other and keeping in touch that way. And then we try to have at least brunch at least once every other month. And it's so fun to go somewhere with 15 fat ladies or fat people. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
I love seeing everybody staring. How dare you fat people eat in public?
And there's a big group of you.
You get a big old turkey leg, shoving it all in my mouth, and then you.
Exactly.
Yeah, fat people have to eat too. Even if you think we have stores or whatever, we still have to eat every single day, even if we're extra fat.
That's right.
So yeah, Fat Brunch is really cool. And then when there's events going on, when there's movies or anything that's related to fat fun, we try to keep each other informed of that. And then I share our podcast with them a lot, so I know we get a lot of local listeners, and it's fun. There's people from all over. In fact, I think even Reagan and her wife are on that group too, and they're in Oregon now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, I like following the groups and forums on Facebook that Fat Sacramento and Caring for Our Fat Bodies.
That's the best, right?
It's so nice to have community and be able to talk about issues that surround things that we deal with that a lot of other people don't want to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah.
I found so many great products and things like that from those, specifically designed for fat bodies, just because people were like, I need a new office chair. And I'm like, me too.
Yeah.
You just that walking pad.
Yeah, the walking pad. Did you buy one?
No, I was hoping to see it on the Prime Day deals, and it wasn't. So I'm going to wait till Black Friday and see if it goes.
I thought Wendy said she got $50 off.
Oh, I didn't see that. Maybe I was on the wrong day, because Feed it 7 days.
In fact, I have my feet on mine right now. It's underneath
Nice.
my table. Yeah. Speaking of goodies, I brought some show and tell items.
Ooh, I love show and tell items.
My estrogen patch.
Oh, nice.
Estradiol. I can't even remember how to say it. Estradiol. Estradiol.
How's it been working for you?
I haven't noticed a lot yet. I think I told you the first thing I noticed were 3 big, fat, black, super shiny, hot, fat, thick whiskers on the right side of my mouth.
Oh.
And I'm an electrologist, so it's my job to keep people free from their extra hair, and I have some extra hair now. It's hormones, just like PCOS. Yeah. Your hormones are going to be always changing. Right. I always tell my PCOS clients, you're going to have a relationship with an electrologist the rest of your life. The goal is to get it down to like 2 visits a year, Right. But even I don't know if I have PCOS or if I have undiagnosed PCOS, but I have an electrologist. I see her like for 10 minutes every, couple, like maybe every 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Because, this obviously the patch gave me some new hormones.
Right.
Menopause is just like puberty. Just you're getting older, and that's why your hormones are changing. And of course, pregnancy, things like stress can make hair grow faster on your face. I often tell my clients, if you start out, like maybe you have a desk job and then you start working outdoors and all of a sudden you get a ton of sun, or you go on a retreat to Hawaii for 2 months, that's going to give you a lot more hair. It's going to make that shit grow. It sucks.
There's no getting around it. But like you said, like you build a relationship with an electrolysis. It's like, you're an electrolysis, you have an electrolysis. I'm a therapist, I have a therapist. Like,
thank you.
We have to have these things that are maintenance in your life.
Absolutely, for sure. Yeah, thank God. And I love my electrologist, and she's going to teach me some things that I'm not really allowed to offer as a service, but I'm allowed to do it on myself because my machine can do a lot of things like remove skin tags. Do you have a lot of those cherry colored moles?
Yes.
Yeah, white people get a lot of those on our torso, and I can get rid of those. And then age spots, skin tags are the big one. But the funny thing is, I tried to do the cherries on my girlfriend, and I just turned them brown. So she's like, but I like them better. They're brown. Yeah. And I said, okay. But then she went to see the dermatologist. She goes, oh, Chrystal, next time we do this, you need to turn it up. The electrologist had a hot, and they're just gone now. I said, okay.
Nice.
It was my first time, so I was nervous.
Yeah. You want to be cautious for sure.
Yeah, and she's kind of fussy, so I don't want to mess her up somehow,
Yeah.
But she said
I have them on my face. Like,
yeah, me too. I get a few on them too, as well, on my hands.
Yeah.
I removed one from my hand right here, but again, I'm not allowed to do that. It's not my scope. But people ask me all the time, please, 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 please.
Right.
So I'm going to try to learn how to do it, at least for my friends. Some people that won't sue me.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Hell yeah. That's great.
I know. I'm excited, and she's been doing this for like 35 years, so she knows a trick or two.
Exactly. Well, and when you got, when you're in the know, and it's like, well, it's not technically something I'm supposed to be able to do, but you could probably have a little side hustle too if you want it.
Estheticians have a similar machine, and they can do it, but it's not in my scope. I only went to school for electrolysis, so it's a 600-hour trade school. You don't learn. Of course, you have to learn a little bit about skin, but not like like they go to 1,600 hours of school. So,
yeah.
But I know all things electrology. And the other thing I brought to this chit chat was the giveaway that we were going to give away as soon as we have the address to the lady that won it. Yes, we're very grateful to our friends at VEDO Toys. They gave us this kitty, I like the name, to give away. And we had a little offer, and apparently they reached out to the person who won just to make sure that they're over 18 or 21, and then get their address, and then we'll ship this off. But this is kind of interesting. I think for me, it'd be hard for me to use it by myself, but maybe with my partner. Yeah. And I think the idea is that, you get the clitoris between the two little fingers. Yeah. I know. So I have to ship it to them as soon as I find out.
Well, I hope the person who won gives us a review or tells us what they think.
I hope so too. Yeah. Usually they seem like most of our winners have been pretty open-minded. Yeah. Not all of them, but pretty much almost all of them. Thank goodness. I try to tell them ahead of time. we want to use your pics and your information if we can in the future.
Yeah. Well, the feedback is like super helpful because it helps us kind of gear, other giveaways or other things that we're doing in a way that, has more participation. So
Yeah,
we need to know it's resonating.
absolutely. Yeah, and for those of you who do listen to this, if you have ideas of stuff that you would like us to interview or talk about, we're going to do. We would love your input, so you can send it to our email, bigsexychatpod@gmail.com, or just go to our website and you'll get asked to enter our email newsletter, and then you can keep in touch with us that way.
Yeah. We love when people share with their friends and leave us reviews, and it helps get more information out there, and that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, and I mean, I know I have a lot of people in my life that would want to know about our podcast, so maybe you do too. And so who knows, you might be really helping somebody out. Just share our bigsexychat.com website with them. That'll give them everything they need, and then we can, keep in touch that way, or they can like us on Facebook, they can like us on Instagram, all that good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. We're on all the socials.
We are. You saw my last show and tell is my pocket pussy, pocket vagina, vulva. Just in case, because our last podcast that we just published was all about clitoracy.
Mm-hmm. You have the super anatomically correct one, and then I have the cutesy little fun one.
Yeah. I like them both.
They're both fun in their own ways. But yours is used for like demonstration of stuff, which is really helpful.
Yeah. I was teaching that when I was doing all those pleasure parties.
Yeah.
Teaching people how to find their G-spot and how to find their clitoris. And it was I did it for 10 years. All I did was went around to the Bay Area to people's houses and educated and basically entertained them about sex toys. And the amount of people that don't know their own anatomy. And I'm like, y'all, it's the age of Google. Why? Aren't you curious? I'm so curious. Like, I want to know everything.
Right.
Some people just don't. Maybe it's cultural too, some people don't want to search stuff on their computers because their kids might look at it later.
Yeah, that's
all
true.
That kind of stuff. But it's like, like that clit. We talked about the clit. The clit only has one purpose. That's to give us an orgasm or to give us pleasure.
Pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
We are we need to have like a shrine to it. What are we talking about here? Like, why are we not talking about this? Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things in life.
Right? Exactly.
That was a fun episode to do. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was good.
I learned I learned a few things, but yeah, if you want to see if you're clitorate, you can listen to our podcast. You can go find it on bigsexychat.com. It's all right there. Oh, and you know what I was going to tell you? You saw how I was at a wedding last weekend, right, for my cousin?
Yeah.
Did you see her beautiful wedding dress by chance?
I didn't. I just saw like the crowd pictures.
She's my size. Yeah. And I think her dress is probably like a 28-30. Yeah. And total like huge corset buttons up the back and big, fluffy layers at the bottom. It's kind of like eggshell white because, she's 47. Yeah. And also, fuck the word virginity. But anyway, I hate that word. I asked her today, can we do an interview? Maybe I can write a blog about her and she could tell us how she found her dress a year and a half ago, how she got it fitted and how she found foundations. And it's so hard if you're plus size trying to find a wedding. It's hard to find anything, but wedding dresses are a real nightmare for people who are people of size.
Oh, absolutely. When I was looking, it was like just trying to find the underneath to like have bustier and like all that. Like I was like, but it worked out, but it was just like, it was a lot.
The foundations are hard.
Yeah.
I told her a year ago, get your foundations now. In fact, it's probably just better to go to a seamstress and have them sew it into your dress because it doesn't really exist, especially when you're my size or her size. It's like trying to find foundation if you're a size 30.
Right.
Forget it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But her dress was so beautiful. And she did wear strapless. I told her don't go strapless, but they always do. And it stayed up because they had her all cinched in. They're so tight.
Nice.
And we were trying to figure out something funny has to happen, right? At all weddings. And you have to have something to laugh about later, right? So the night before we had a rehearsal dinner and we accidentally ordered 24 pizzas instead of 12. Long story. So we're that's the funny thing that happened at this wedding, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
No. 10 minutes before she was supposed to go on stage and come down and walk down the aisle in a white dress, she started her period.
No.
the place where she had the wedding was like all encompassing. Like you get married there and there's a reception there.
Yeah.
Okay, air conditioning. Remember, it's Las Vegas. So it was like 105 out. Bathroom, no AC. And the bathroom was not very clean, which I saw at 10 in the morning. I was like, I hope they're clean it before 4 o'clock, but they didn't. Anyway, she had to get help and try to find a way to make sure her dress doesn't touch the disgusting floor in the bathroom and find a way to put a tampon in, all while wearing all that garb and all being sucked in and tight. Yeah.
Fuck that.
Two funny things happened.
Ugh.
I know.
Poor thing.
I know, poor thing. But the sweetest thing is that, she married this gentleman who was widowed, I think, about 5 years ago. And they both had in their vows that they rescued each other. Like she said, you rescued me. He said she rescued him. And, that was unplanned. So it was very sweet. And it seems like they seem like a lovely match. I hope it works out for them. And so far they've been together for about 3 or 4 years. So
nice.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Mm.
Well, this was fun, Chrystal. Yeah.
I know we all have shit to do, and I do too. And I love chatting with you anytime. I always have a million things I want to talk with you about. So
I know
it's nice to get a chance to chat with you. And again, if people are listening later and watching this later, please feel free to email us at bigsexychatpod@gmail.com or go to our website and subscribe, as Merf always says. And anything else, Merf, that you can think of?
I think our next, we could kind of tease our next episode.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Our next episode is going to be about some pop culture related to fat liberation and the many things that surround that. So check it out.
Also, remember, we have an amazing sponsor, which is Adam and Eve. And we have shared our Adam and Eve coupon code and all that good stuff several times. You can find it pinned to our Instagram page. And we love Adam and Eve. They've been one of our most amazing sponsors to date because they actually paid us money instead of just products, which was a huge thing because, we're still doing this. We're not making any profit here yet. So one day, though, soon.
Use our code BigSexy at adamandeve.com.
Thank you.
50% off one item.
Yeah. And I forgot to mention, too, this Tuesday night, I'm going to be on with the Full Figure Entertainment Awards. We've been nominated for the best podcast again. And so they do like a little, if you sign up for it, you get to do a little live podcast with them or a live video with them on Tuesday. So I'll be there Tuesday night. I'll make sure I share it to the Big Sexy Chat page.
Nice. Exciting. They're such great people over there. Good crew.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I will see you later, alligator.
After a while, crocodile.
Thanks, Merv.
Thanks.